I published several books related to street art in Bristol, further afield, but also the culture which generated that street art. Just by way of explanation, I'm not entirely sure what happened in St Paul's and Barton Hill in the mid-80s, but something happened which has been largely unrecorded. There was a huge upsurge in creativity, very, very underground movements of free parties, painting, music, art. The traveller community then came into the city, so they brought with them their sort of festival mentality, and that seemed to gel together to create something which I think Chris would probably agree. We see the conclusion, the progression of today, particularly in Stokes CROFT, that free spirit, that independence, that creativity, which is increasingly making Bristol famous across the globe. And so I don't really know exactly what happened. I don't know if anyone did, because it wasn't a plan. It was largely unrecorded. So one of my aims as a publisher is to celebrate what happened then and how it's progressed. And I do that through Banksy, Bristol, Children of the Clown, Art and Sound, Bristol Underground, and various other publications. Today we have with us Mark Leverton, who's the author of, just off the press, Banksy Myths and Legends, which delves into those stories which appear, particularly in Bristol, probably further afield, because everybody thinks they know Banksy, or has got a mate who knows Banksy, or had a Banksy print, an original one, or knows someone who gave it to a postal or whatever. So there are legions of Banksy myths, legends, and stories, and Mark's picked the best of them in this book, which is done deliberately this start to celebrate the three little black books which Banksy did originally when he first set out his agenda for an artist now who's probably most famous in the world. I'm delighted to have with me also John Nation. I think the only person who can claim to have been at the very start of the Bristol graffiti movement is John. He used to run the Barton Hill Youth Club, and that's where a lot of the original writers congregated. And people like Chio, Inky, Jody, Loki, Shab, many more first went there to write in this sort of explosion of New York hip hop. And that's one of the things which I think I don't agree, John, but it's one of the things which just probably defines it. Is for some reason Bristol adopted New York hip hop after punk started seeing been selling out. And New York hip hop had four very distinct blends. You needed the break dancers, the MCs, the DJs, and any serious crew also used to have a graffiti writer. And so that's very much part, the music is also very much part of what happened then in Bristol, and we see the progression of that maybe into Massive Attack, Portishead, Strictly. You can link it all back to this man, essentially.
Take the credit, John.
The theme for today is Banksy good for Bristol? Has Banksy been good for Bristol? It's very much going to be a Q&A. We've got people with a lot of knowledge about not just Banksy, but the wider street art scene.